Today in the news, we got some pretty wild code names, a possible conspiracy theory, and the most human-like robot. What is up, guys? I'm Snows, and this is your boot sequence. Before we start, I just wanted to thank our sponsor Memory Express, which just opened a new store in Victoria, BC. You get the same quality of service and product selection, so this season, go visit your new Memory Express in Victoria. Alright, let's get right into it. Let's start with Microsoft. As you know, the current generation of consoles is about to end. We've had the Xbox One and PS4 for 5 years now, and their successors are probably going to make their first appearance next year. One thing that was quite different this time was the addition of a more powerful version of the original console mid-cycle. I'm talking about the Xbox One S, X, and the PS4 Pro, in case you were wondering. Well, it looks like Microsoft is going to keep that tiered approach on their next generation, but this time they'll release both consoles at the same time. What we know so far is that the next generation of Xbox consoles are under the codename Scarlett. In this Scarlett lineup, two new codenames have appeared, one called Anaconda and the other Lockhart. The Anaconda is apparently the codename for the Xbox One X successor, while the Lockhart codename is used for the base model Xbox One successor. According to some reports, dev kits are already in use and they sport the Anaconda specs, even though they already have the codename Danta. I'm guessing it's just a dev codename or something like that. The other thing Microsoft has been working on is their Xbox xCloud project. That's the one where they will use Xbox One S hardware and server racks for online game streaming. Apparently, Project xCloud will also receive the Anaconda treatment. So what do you guys think about the rolling out of two consoles simultaneously? Personally, I kind of like it. If you're the type of person that just wants to play the latest and greatest and doesn't mind the graphics, then you have the option to buy something that will suit your need without breaking the bank. Let me know your thoughts down below. Then, sticking to Microsoft, it seems like we got some insight as to why the Edge browser died. An ex-Microsoft intern shed some light on the matter and says that Google is the main reason for the death of our new friend. Apparently, Google was intentionally polluting their own websites with code that would break some of Microsoft's features that made it better at certain tasks. On a post in the Hackers News forum, Joshua JB explained that Edge had an edge in battery life when watching media online, for example on a YouTube video. Shortly after, Google added a hidden division in the HTML code that caused Microsoft's hardware acceleration to not work properly. Right after they broke Edge, they started advertising Chrome as a better browser for video watching. At the same time, Chrome didn't improve in the slightest, meaning that the change in code was probably to slow down Edge. Microsoft did fix their browser to counter that change in code, but Joshua JB and some of his fellow co-workers are convinced that this change was made to slow down Microsoft Edge. Now, whether this was intentional from Google or not, I really can't blame him, and I honestly don't care. At least not when Microsoft does something like sign a deal with Netflix so that Edge gets 1080p, but Chrome is stuck with 720p playback when it clearly can support higher. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Moving on, it seems like SSD prices will drop once more in 2019. In the last few months, we've seen a pretty steep decline in SSD prices. According to DRAM Exchange, this trend is likely to continue throughout 2019. The main causes for that price drop include things like the Intel CPU shortages, lower than expected iPhone sales, and of course imminent trade war between the US and China. All these things contributed to oversupply of NAND flash, which will then lower the prices. Now, these price drops will probably only affect 64-layer 3D NAND flash, which luckily most of the memory on the market is. But if you were eyeing a QLC-based SSD, prices might not fluctuate as much. SSDs are already pretty affordable. I mean, you can easily find a 1TB model for around $100, but I'll always welcome a slight price reduction. And lastly, and this one is a pretty funny one, last week at a tech conference in Russia, a super high-tech robot called Boris was seen talking, dancing, and doing some pretty incredible stuff. Well, a few days after that, it was revealed that the robot in question was actually a guy in a costume. The main giveaway was a photo of the backside of the robot where you can see the skin-colored neck. I mean, come on, Russia, if you would have just painted the guy's neck silver or something, you could have fooled everyone. Turns out you can actually buy the robot suit if you want to fool your community for around $4,000. Just make sure you do something about that neck. And that is pretty much it for the news, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video and right here to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to drop me a like, it'd be greatly appreciated. As always, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys on the next video.